Gush and
What is it?
I was hoping she'd just on the fly start singing a Gavin Gush intro song.
That makes me think of Fred and Denise Ferris when I said my favorite flower was lily of the valley. He said his wife went into singing, he's the lily of the valley. And then he pulled up something on his phone, and he had music going in the background. And so I said, I wish I could join their praise and worship team.
I get it, Sal.
Yeah, come on, Gavin Gush, I'll give you a beat.
It's like, what is it? I didn't have any warning for this.
Yeah, Gavin Gush, we're here on a Tuesday. We are rescheduling a little bit this month. We are looking forward to our next visitor who will be here on the 28th. And I really want to reference a calendar when I say that date. Cheryl Clapp is coming to Gavin Gush with us, and she has been featured on the cover of Classic Sewing magazine.
I have her book right here.
We are excited about her coming. She's coming all the way from California, and we are going to be so excited to host her and have her here at Farmhouse. So
Cheryl is extremely talented, and she can do machine work and hand work, and I mean her designs are so cute.
She's featured because she's really talented. Yeah, she makes beautiful things. Yeah. That's kind of all crammed into featured, right?
Yeah.
Featured on the cover.
Right. Yeah. That's right. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see her. And I think she has a grandson that lives not too far from, in this direction, right?
I think she vacations on the East Coast with her family. Yeah. So that's how we get to have her.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
But today we have a really interesting like bodice framework kind of fabric for y'all. We've got talk about spaghetti bias trims. There is a big deal like heading the heirloom world going on with Gail Doan and GailDoan.com. Something new, something borrowed, something blue. Y'all, lots of fun here today. So, Sally, what you want to start with?
Well, I don't know. There's so much good going on, and
this is for your spaghetti. This is for your spaghetti.
Okay.
Because I feel like let's do those. Let's talk about Gail Doan. So we're gonna have a big reveal here on Friday. And so that is going to give you more information about these classes. The place that you can get the best informed is by going to GailDoan.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of her homepage, you can sign up for her newsletter. I think probably for me, being beginner, the most exciting thing to me about this class is that this is coming from a beginner intermediate level of sewing for this smocked yoke.
Well, it's kind of like her class Smocking 101, and Kristen we made it into a notebook. It was so exquisite that we actually had it printed and bound, because this is great for your library. Her classes are so reasonable and really, really thorough. And so like this is a Smocking 101, and then now you have a smocked yoke dress, and it's going to go from start to finish, right? All the details.
It makes me think of Amanda Cotton at Sewing Cotton. She's quoted on Gail Doan's website for Smocking 101 as to thinking that she wasn't the target market for this class because she knew how to smock. But all the information that she learned from a Smocking 101 perspective with Gail Doan, because Smocking 101 and Smocking 101 with Gail Doan is different vocabulary.
Right.
Yeah. So Friday, y'all join us back for information about Gail Doan.
Because if packages are delivered on time, we'll actually have in our hands to show you, just like we did with their christening gown, some of her work in real life. And we can hold them, and we'll turn them right side out, inside out, upside down, and look at her wonderful work.
I might sneak my child in here and do a photo shoot with Gail's fabulous dresses.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
How about in our designer fabric world? So we have, I like to say, a unique opportunity through one of our vendors or several of our vendors to receive some designer top of the line named designers in the fabric world. So we are carrying a good plenty of Tori Richards fabrics. Sally recently, or this week, part of her Sew Sally Sew challenge, she sewed up a vintage little boy's romper or short all. And she used the Tori Richards fabric, and y'all, the feel of this is so fabulous.
You know, it does feel kind of like Liberty. When I was sewing on it, I thought, man, this feels awesome.
The weight, it really is that lawn weight. It's really beautiful. It has this Pima cotton finish. I mean,
yeah,
it's exquisite,
really smooth
really.
finish, isn't it?
We've been dreaming up women's clothing. People have been ordering for men's attire. It looks super cute for this little boy's bubble.
Yeah.
Or
well, I guess it's like a romper, really. And it looked like a John in here. And then I looked more carefully at the drawing, and it has elastic in the back. So this is Butterick 3489, and so it has elastic in the back, and I actually did it the exact amount of elastic that it told me, and it seemed like it was pulling it kind of tight, so I loosened it up. But haven't put the buttons on the shoulder straps yet, but it crisscrosses in the back. And
I love that. I love the little babies.
I do too, and all their little back tone.
Oh, I love
Wouldn't that be cute? And be cute with a little shirt under it too. But these feel wonderful. And we do have the linen cottons that are amazing. Did you bring any of those in here? Maybe not. But yeah, the cotton lawns, I guess, would you call them a lawn, or what would you call it?
I feel like it's a lawn
weight. Yeah. It feels great. And these little fish, I think it's cute for a boy or a girl, don't you?
So Tori Richards is based, or from what I can tell, she's based out of Hawaii, and she has lines of adult and children clothing, and they have that tropical feel to them.
Yeah.
And we carry, I don't know, we probably have 20 of her fabrics right now, and they have that, you know, you want to say aloha look to them. They're really pretty.
That's right. Yeah, it's great.
So in the designer fabric world, because depending on why you're shopping with Farmhouse, we do have designer fabrics that come through here. Currently, we have some Vera Wang silk buttons, covered buttons, and then just like a 4-hole or a 2-hole covered button, so it's not shank. We have had Nanette Lepore. Who are some other names that we've had? We've had Gitman Brothers.
Yeah, Gitman Brothers for shirtings.
So you never know.
We've had Ralph Lauren.
What's going to come through here, but it's
Prada. We've had
Prada. Yeah. Prada wool.
And some of those
silk.
Wools. Oh my goodness.
Those were beautiful.
Were amazing.
And then a lot of times we have to call it designer because we do not know the name of the designer because we're not allowed to share it. So we might know it, but we can't share it with you. So if it says designer fabric, it's really a designer.
And right now we just got a shipment of some swimwear fabrics that came from a very nice, they say a very nice house. And let me just tell you this, some of it, because of how nice and firm it is, it can create a miracle on your body.
So now we have hidden one-piece suits up underneath all of our clothing here.
That's right. Yeah.
Is the short all lined?
This is not fully lined. I made it like the pattern. It has a facing that comes down all the way to the waist, and then the pants are not lined, but they're hemmed. And I was thinking about this. You were gonna probably ask me, did you hand sew a hem? But you know, my blue thread matched so great, and this has such a pattern that you really can't tell. I didn't know you
had hemmed them.
I hemmed it with with my blind hammer foot. And if you look really carefully, you can see the little
whip.
Yeah. But when the thread is a good match, and then you have an all over pattern, you can use your blind hammer pretty easily. Plus, I was in a hurry.
This is cute.
So,
I mean, I think this would be really cute as like a men's matching bow tie, or like you could.
Yeah,
wouldn't that
that'd
be sweet?
Cute in a bow tie.
It really is pretty for girls. Like we're finding some pretty coordinates today with these fabrics. Sally had sent me an email. What was the company that you sent it from?
Tuckernuck.
So I always say Tucker Neck, so I let her say it to say it correctly.
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But they had this midi maxi length woman's dress with a collar, and it was sleeveless. And they kind of mixed and matched different shades and different textures. So I thought these lived together.
Well, you know, Abby Wilkinson of Dress Them Dearly, or Abby D. Wilkinson, on Facebook and Instagram, she really is the first person that made me aware of that company because she was talking about some of their cute styles, and she
She had a plaid winter dress.
Yeah, and didn't she make one? She made she
Uh-huh.
made one like theirs. And so I started watching, and then we're planning our beach trip, and we're talking about caftans and things like that. I couldn't believe it when they had a whole section on the same type of things that we're talking about making. But yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, I like
the things they combined.
Yes, they really, it's pretty.
And if you get on their mailing list, you can see all kinds of great ideas.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we really are moving towards our summer photo shoot, and by that the date is getting closer, but we're not sewing for it yet. So where we are landing
in my head,
I'm thinking a maxi dress, or we're gonna have some type of cover up is probably where it's shaping up. But because
this is a flowy thing.
Were
Were you thinking about that?
Yes, for a cover up, like I imagine this real flowy long caftan for a woman, like by the pool. How pretty would this be?
Also, I brought down a couple of times ago, I brought that fabric down with the daisies on it and the orange stripes and things that are flowy. Laura Hilton from Peony Patterns made it for her daughter, a dress. It was gorgeous. And I thought, now that would be a long, flowy, pretty, bright. I mean, it might not blend with anything else. You know how I like to do. All of a sudden, I can do some oddball, crazy.
Well, let's do them all odd, and then it won't matter.
But this would be real pretty.
Wouldn't that? I love this fabric.
And then Kristen said, "Why don't we take some like silk chiffon or something and let the girls flow it around over their heads and
in the wind? I think it would flow.
We have a lot of wind and really be pretty."
So this is it's labeled as a chiffon, but I can see it's a crinkle chiffon, and it has a little bit of texture. I'm going to put it on our overhead for people on Facebook. Ooh, look how zoomed we are. So you can see this little bit of texture that it has to the fabric, and it's almost like a seersucker with these tiny little puckers in the fabric. So we call that a crinkle chiffon, and
I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
It adds like a little bit of dressiness to the look, which is nice.
It is a silk, but how pretty would that be? That some
Even
of our bigger girls, you know, even the little ones could wear something flowy
definitely.
like that. Yeah,
this would make a beautiful gathered skirt, like a tulle kind of inspired thing, where you could gather so much of this and it never would look too full. Okay, there's one. I have been loving this fabric since we've gotten it
out last night when I was trying to think of something to sew, and I thought, well, is it too bright? It might be too bright. I don't know.
So this is a voile weight, and
this is actually a designer fabric, but I'm not sure exactly who
exactly.
It was.
So it's a voile weight. It has a little bit of crispness.
I think it came from Italy, actually.
You might want to do a close-up on that.
Of this fabric? All right, we'll show it.
There you go.
It's so cute. And the neon, like, I think more could pull it off than they think they could.
Yeah.
Definitely for a little one, but it would look really fabulous in a woman's
it's cute
summer dress.
I mean, it's bright. When you walk down the fabric aisle, that one stands out.
It does.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's really pretty.
It's brighter than what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So in that same world of flowy beach cover-ups, a cover-up that we liked, that we keep coming back to, is this Samantha by Violet Fields Threads. And it's gathered right here in the middle, and it is sewn. I mean, this is really just like
a little waistline shape.
Right. Yeah. The structure is added here up underneath the arms and across the front. And so then that's all you really need for the whole look.
So how many years ago did we make that for the beach? At least 3 or 4. And I went to a swim meet with some of my granddaughters, and one of the girls was wearing hers. Look at that, still wearing it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's nice.
Right. So
the nice thing about these is you don't have to worry about fit so much. Last year with the dresses, we had to have a lot of fittings to make them work right.
Well, and you don't have to go with a sheer like these lightweight voile fabrics. They are more sheer. This too is an unlined eyelet, so you can see through it. But a seersucker in this makes up really nicely.
Yeah, it does.
We had an embroidered watermelon seersucker you used one time, and we now have that little tiny printed seersucker. Really, you can almost use any kind of broadcloth poplin weight with this, a sheen sateen would look really pretty out of this.
Yeah.
It would look very
Like even
exactly
that one.
the bright
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
That would be
I
nice.
love that.
So yeah, these are very fun for summertime.
Now that's so beachy.
It is beachy. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
but it's pretty with
Yeah.
all the seashells and everything.
So this is another one from Tori Richards.
Do y'all have an adult one similar to that you know of, a pattern?
I think they have an adult one in from Violet
Threads,
Threads. I
yeah.
think she has an adult one, and I'm thinking one of the other companies too. One of the other PDF companies has adult and children that are kind of similar to that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Vintage Little Lady had
Right.
last year came out with a summer cover up. So today we want to talk to y'all about spaghetti bias, and Sally has been grabbing up all the spaghetti samples that we have around here.
And I know one thing, I was going to grab some samples of, I see one garment that Regina made with spaghetti on it, hanging that little dress, but other garments that have it on so that you can get an idea of how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But so spaghetti bias, you have that bias that right here. So this, here's a piece of just plain bias fabric that this is about 1.5 inches wide. And spaghetti is actually made by, we like to use bias when we have spaghetti made. And so, but if you were making it yourself, you would put right sides together and stitch your seam. Am I in the right place?
Uh-huh.
Right sides together of a bias strip. Okay, stitch your seam, and so you're going to determine like how wide you want your spaghetti. So whatever you determine, you stitch a seam that width and leave. This is the part that will be turned. And actually, you probably should stitch twice because when it stretches, it can pop the threads. But we actually have ours made. However, I have there are different ways, different tools that you can use to make your own spaghetti. One, if your spaghetti is wide enough, you can actually use a safety pin. You can use a loop turner. This is a loop turner. And a loop turner has a little hook on the end that you can push that up into your tube of fabric and hook that hook on the end and pull it through and turn it right side out. And so you can make it that way. This is another one. This is called a fast turn. And this has a little tube. Kristen shared on our on Instagram and maybe Facebook. I don't know, Instagram for sure. Into our story. How somebody has taken looked like a PVC pipe, tiny, and taped it to the edge of their sewing table, and they had a tube of fabric, and then they had something that fit down into the center of that PVC pipe, and so they threaded their fabric over that tube and wrong side out, and then poked like a.
It was a screwdriver.
Was it a screwdriver?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whatever they had on hand, a screwdriver right down through the center, and they pushed the tube of fabric down through the center and then pulled it out the other way, and it pulled out right side out. So there are a lot of ways that you can turn spaghetti. And another way is by using a needle and a thread, like I would have a needle without a sharp point, like a tapestry needle, and then you hook it to the top of your inside out tube, and then back it all the way down the tube of spaghetti and pull it right side out. And there was another way somebody was talking about.
It's kind of like use whatever you have on hand.
Yeah.
Like the knitting needle.
Yeah.
It's a different method.
Right. So I got this great big giant, I don't knit, but I got this at
what Sally really loved is that it was almost the length of the strap that she was turning.
It was great. And the point isn't too sharp. Although I have to confess, I was pushing it out with a linen, and the linen, this did poke through my linen, and I wasn't going to use that strap. But so you have to be really careful not to poke, have a sharp point to poke out through the end. You have to be careful on that. But look how nice and long that is. That's super. But this is fat. Now this spaghetti we have, this would never work on there because our spaghetti that we have made is like
an eighth of an inch. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's tiny. And so spaghetti, because these are some of the styles that we carry in ginghams and garden pin dot and solids. And then some of these we probably don't have anymore, but they were stripes. And what do we have?
Well, what's really nice about this is you can use it for garment embellishment. So people make flowers, they spin it around, they just top stitch it on to add a different texture or look. But strapping is so nice. Like we have some beautiful examples from Vintage Little Lady, and this is their Petra dress. And we've been seeing that they've used it on their shoulders.
That's right.
For the shoulder
they have
straps.
Like
several
strands of it, and it's gorgeous.
It is really pretty.
So this is Vintage Little Lady Petra, and this is a PDF pattern that you can download. It's a darling maxi dress.
So it actually functions for the straps.
Yes.
So it is, you can make it yourself. We say make it on the bias. We would definitely recommend that, but we also have them pre-made on the bias as well.
And they're very cute as little bows. You can make a little tiny bow and put it at the bottom of a strap or something like that. And one of our best-selling kits of all time was a pattern that Connie Palmer, our good friend Connie Palmer, made for us. It was a Christmas tree shape, and she just drew it off like this. And it was a green.
I thought you were going to talk about her tiered gingham checks.
Oh, now that
had a spaghetti running at the top of each row.
She did. She didn't put piping. She put spaghetti on the top of each. But that Christmas tree was on a
corduroy.
Yeah, red corduroy, right? Red corduroy. And then with little buttons for ornaments and a star at the top. And the whole thing was just spaghetti. And so she glues it down with a glue stick and then sews it. At one time we used a twin needle but now, as Connie said, the easiest thing to do is use that 3-point zigzag. I think it's called I'm going to say something I'm probably not going to be right, but like a 3-point zigzag stitch that she sews that.
She's got a new technique. And it's easier, and we trust her.
It's easier. Yeah. So anyway, we have lots and lots of styles of spaghetti. And
we have a new sewing kit. I posted it this morning on Facebook and Instagram, and we've been talking about this. It's called our Watermelon Cutie, and we actually have spaghetti here.
Oh, is that what they have on?
This
awesome.
is an anchor styled pattern from Primrose Lane, an anchor. It's a sailor. themed. Okay, so they use spaghetti right here on the collar. Do you have any points or tips for like how you would measure this? Like, would you glue it on first? Would you mark? How are you going to address that collar?
Well, what I would do, I would probably measure from the finished edge, and I would probably sew it on after my collar is finished. I think that would be easier. Although you could sew it onto just the top layer. You could have a line drawn and then run your glue stick and glue it down, and then sew. You have to take into consideration your seam allowance, and then you want to leave whatever measurement is between the edge of the collar. But it'd probably be just as easy to sew it after the collar was made. But I would still probably mark it with my little blue pen and then glue it on and then sew it.
It's a slightly rounded collar, but being that this is on the bias, it actually does have some give or some turn. Yeah. And so this is easy to accomplish with a spaghetti trim.
Yeah. That's been a really popular little kit.
Very cute.
Yep. And that watermelon color gingham is sold out. They use the rest of it to make this
for our kit.
For the kit, and we can't get it. That was from Fabric Finders, and they don't have it.
Gone.
So that was a super cute little kit. Yeah.
So we have some really interesting fabrics here. What is this from? That's a calfskin pattern.
We have this. I bought this pattern last year.
All right, we're going to show y'all the adult version of the cover up, the beach cover up that we were talking about.
That. Isn't that cute? Oh, good. So this is a simplicity pattern, and it's a reprint of a vintage pattern.
That's cute.
I have it in my stash here somewhere.
Never to be seen again. Here you go. There it is for Instagram. It's really cute. So simplicity 5628.
Yep. So that's a current pattern right now. I'm pretty sure you can get it. And those, so easy to make those. Really, really easy. And one thing I wanted to talk about, because I just downloaded this pattern, and we had a swimsuit that Hope Mullins, who works here, Hope owns Castle Land Cottons, and she sells garments on Instagram and Facebook. Anyway, she made a swimsuit, and we showed it, and we had a lot of great response. And so I ordered this little swimsuit pattern from Sunflower Seams, and it is the orchid. Sunflower Seams orchid. I ordered it yesterday, and so my goal is to make that this week. And we just got in a big shipment of some swimwear fabric. Just like I said, it's just a miracle.
This is the miracle wear.
The miracle, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, this is a really cute little floral swimwear, and so I know we have a lot of them by the piece, and they're going to be going on.
That's a cute
today.
little print.
Isn't that pretty? I love that. The neat thing about swimwear fabric is, like, you've got this little ruffle, but you don't have to finish the edge. You just cut it, and it's just straight. And so there's no fraying or anything like that. And I feel like this is kind of cute because pretty modest, and so it looked like it'd be pretty easy to make too.
This is a 2-piece.
It's a 2-piece.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. So this is on my to-do list, and hopefully we can bring it to you. So Sunflower Seams orchid, cute swimsuit.
So you have used what you like textured fabrics.
I do.
Yes. And so because of that, we have a lot of them here at Farmhouse. And you're dreaming up something with a textured bodice. Where's it taking you?
Well, somebody ordered this fabric last week, and we could do an overhead on this. And this is the neatest fabric. This is a Swiss fabric, and to me, it looks like what they call fabric manipulation, where, let's say you made rows and rows of tucks, and then some of them you sewed down, and then the next row you sewed up, and the next row down, and the next row up. And so it's not quite made like that, because this is actually woven in a certain way, this way. But when I cut this for an order, I thought this would be perfect for a bodice. And there actually are, it's 3-dimensional. So yeah, as Kristen was touching it. So it does have a direction, because they all really should angle down, it looks like, right? Yeah. Anyway, I made a bodice dress a few years ago for my granddaughters. And so it was actually from a vintage pattern, but then I altered the bodice dress to be able to make it too. And it had a faux double-breasted look in the front, and I made the bodice out of a textured Swiss fabric. And I made the rest of the dress out of one was navy, and the other one I made out of this aqua. Is it aqua? Piqué, Swiss whale piqué. And then the buttons, they weren't covered buttons, but they coordinated. They were like polka dot.
Riley Blake buttons.
They were Riley Blake, weren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. Such a darling dress. And so I thought about that again as I pulled this out, and we don't have a lot of this fabric left, maybe 5 yards. And I thought, man, that's cute. And first of all,
We're struggling about when you have a textured fabric. A textured fabric is a little bit heavier. So it makes you have to think about what you're pairing with it differently, because typically it's going to take a lot of attention from the garment, or add a lot of attention depending on which route you go with it. But because this is heavier, because of all the texture, it almost wouldn't suit it to have a real lightweight, flowy fabric.
No, and I was trying to think with this seersucker that we're selling by the bundle. This just came in. It's really cute. And I thought, well, what about this? What about this? But I thought, I don't know. It's
also textured. Seersucker has a texture, and they're not living together pretty. So
this has a texture, but it's so smooth that you don't even think about it. And so it would look cute. The other thing is,
when I saw this, that was a great idea. So a sateen has a little bit more weight. Or this particular sateen does.
And I think it's okay to have a floral with
it
that.
looks nice, because I didn't like the idea of a floral before.
Me either, but this kind of looks cute with
I know, I like that
you
too.
could do sister dresses or something like that. And just trying to get the coordinates. And then we have this amazing piece, and we don't have much of this either. This is a Swiss eyelet, and it's an all over embroidered. Have a look at that. heavily embroidered, the whole thing embroidered.
So introducing this, you have the same problem. You have this very
Yes.
textured fabric. So it's kind of like, what are you going to pair with that? But this is gorgeous.
That's pretty with
It
that.
is really. Oh, you know what? It makes me think of the Camden, the Jilly Atlanta Camden that Regina made.
Yes.
Because she paired it with linen. So again, it's got a little bit of like textured look, the weave does, but it still is a smooth finish.
Yeah.
That was,
I do think like you could, like this could be all in a family group. You know,
Definitely.
I think it could be a family group. I do love this.
this is your family beach pictures.
Yeah.
That Sally won't be using in our beach pictures.
I'll probably make it before then and then think, man, I'm running out of time here. Anyway, I wanted to show it because it's just so pretty not to show. And there's not a lot of this. This is really limited. This is quite limited also. But
so in that idea, Regina did, she created her dress with an interest point going across the front. It's almost like a faux bodice or faux yoke. And so it had a heavily embroidered, she did trims, but it lived very beautifully with the linen.
Yeah,
I mean, the dress was gorgeous.
it did.
So when you're adding in that texture, you really have to think about the different weights of fabrics that you're going to pair with it.
Yeah, it's got to have a good balance, I think. Yeah. Ooh, I love the set.
That's pretty.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Well, one pattern I pulled out that I thought you could definitely make a textured bodice, and you could even do like an eyelet pocket or something, and that would be the Bonnie Blue Kimberly pattern. I've made this many times, but I love it. So the bodice could definitely be a texture, and then the skirt be a solid, and it'd be cute. You could even make. You might even make like if you did it with the floral, you could do the straps. You could do the straps out of like I think I might do tie straps out of the floral and have that tied, and then the white bodice.
Pretty.
Yeah, that'd be really pretty.
That's a good base.
Bonnie Blue Kimberly, and that pattern comes in sizes 6, 12, 18, and 24 months, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 10 years, all in the same pattern. Yeah,
Cute.
so that's cute.
Sunflower Scenes commented on Instagram, so we can't wait to see your orchid.
Oh, good.
Y'all keep pressuring her.
Yeah,
That's
put
what
the
I think.
pressure on. I need to do it. I want to do it.
That would be fun.
I just need to make it and not worry about fitting anybody. I just need to make one up, right?
I mean, you've never made one. You should
I
make
know.
one and not even.
Because
If you start with a size 10 and it ends at a 2, no one's going to know.
That's right. Because I worry about, who's it going to fit and all that. And I thought, you know what? I just need to make it. And so then I'm comfortable with making it because I'm a little, guess what? I'm a little nervous about.
Fit your leg. You can make the top part of the bathing suit, and then you can do all kinds of tests to see if it fit right. It's gonna work.
I don't want to fit my leg. I don't want to be looking at my leg. It's gonna be kind of ugly.
Hey, this is Miracle What?
Yeah, that's
swimwear
right. That's
here.
right.
You're gonna
Miracle
be fine.
Swimwear. That's right. That's right.
So, since Evie Hawkins from A Bit of Stitch has been here, which makes me want to say, don't y'all remember she gave away a coupon for $5 off a $10 purchase with the code Farmhouse. So, designs, machine embroidered designs. She showed us some sneak peeks that were on her machine. There were those adorable cats.
The cats. Oh man.
So, Sally has this obsession with notions and sewing notions. And so since we've seen Evie's little snips.
Yeah, with a serrated edge, with a serrated blade, and
it's getting
curved
her
tips.
It's getting Sally one step closer to turning on her embroidery machine. Because she loves the tools you're using,
right.
Evie.
I do love the tools. And so just for fun, she showed me how it works. So just for fun, I took 2 seconds before we went live, right? I sewed a
Madeira hem.
Yeah, it's just like a Madeira hem. So Evie does application of all kinds of things. And then when this is like all still in the hoop, she loves these little serrated edge snips with a curved tip. And she can go and before she does the satin stitch around, she goes right up next to, should we do this? Where are we here?
Let's do it.
All right. So I thought, well, let me just try this and see how it works. Man, this is really fun.
Scoot you back just a tiny bit.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So with this curved scissor snip, you can trim right up next to that curve. Oh my goodness.
So why are we living in Madeira Hymns? Y'all, you can't even imagine how much inspiration we get from everyone. Hence these
Look at this.
these scissors.
I
This
mean, can you see? You're up. I'm
It's
next
so
to it,
close.
just like boom.
right. With no
These
effort.
are-
And you're
no.
cutting on a flat surface. You're not having to fold it in half
It's
and
so.
yeah.
Jessica Santiago says we use those scissors in brain surgery.
Oh,
Ooh, Jessica.
wow.
That definitely put it
That's
somewhere
neat.
else, a different
Yeah.
perspective.
Wow.
I hope I never
Have to.
I hope I never know that.
So, what do you do with your old ones? You get to keep them.
They're probably pretty sharp. They go into autoclave to be
Yeah.
clean. Okay, so why are we living with Madeira Hymns? Why is that in our brain? Because So Cassandra, and she is on Instagram, she made a darling linen dress with a Madeira hem, and then also had a Madeira design on the front. Y'all look at how sweet this is. So Cassandra, she made this pink and white combination.
Yeah, it was.
And how adorable. It's so cute. So yeah, that's why Madeira hymns are living in our brains, because of this adorable linen dress. So thank you for tagging us in that.
Listen, we're going to have some really cute. In fact, we are getting some really cute romantic rosebud model garments coming to us. They're so
We
pretty.
shared Gloria Powers this morning,
Mhm.
Gloria Powers G on Instagram, and her adorable dress. It was
Mhm.
a crossback. Yeah, it's beautiful.
They're pretty. Adult and children's garments are coming, and
we're just going to
man.
filter them into y'all.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all sign up for our newsletter on the front page of our website at farmhousefabrics.com. And you can stay up with the latest and greatest that's happening over here. And then catch us Tuesdays and Fridays live.
You want to know what I'm doing?
I do.
This afternoon, my 7-year-old twin grandsons are having a birthday party. And so they have an older brother. So I'm making them pillowcases. The twins are going to have the camping pillowcase out
These
of
are
the
not
camping.
available from Farmhouse any longer. We sold out of these.
Well, actually, no.
Do we have
told
some
Christy, we have a little bit. I told
Okay.
Christy to measure. You know where they turned off?
Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a little bit left of these. These have camping things on them, and the boys will love them. And then I thought, well, I'm going to do a pillowcase for their big brother. And so since he's older,
If y'all are catching some grief
I
about
did
boys sewing,
I'm
make
doing
a
the
cute
mustache.
pillowcase. This is so cute.
I know. And so I brought a pillowcase down from the house just so I could measure it. Because really, I'm giving them a pillowcase because the gift I bought them is too big to fit in any bag that I have. Mostly I have girl bags. I thought, you know what, I'll make them a pillowcase and then put their present in it. They're kind of used to me but wrapping their presents
I want
in
you to
fabric.
draw a face on one of these.
Oh, you know what? I ought to.
But
Wouldn't
make
he
this
like
the
that?
wig. Would that be funny?
This could be the wig and that can be the
Embroider a
mustache.
face on that.
Yeah,
What?
machine embroider.
Or machine embroider a face. Yeah.
All right, y'all. If you don't know, we draw twice a week here for a winner of these sewing goodies. It's a huge giveaway twice a week here at Farmhouse. We have a beautiful, what did you have? Vintage. Sometimes we have vintage. Sometimes it's brand new, just in the door. Trims, buttons. You never know what you're going to get. Magazines I can see in there.
And there are some 1940s crochet books. One of them is all for babies. So
Why don't you
cute.
throw in your little crochet notion turner?
What?
Your needle over there.
Which one?
This right here.
No.
This is the reason she used this is because she couldn't find her bodkin that's tied to a string that she keeps on her neck when she sews. So
That's right.
that's right.
She ain't lying.
Vicky's
All right.
got a shout out to you. She says, thanks for combining my orders. I got a $9 refund for postage.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We'll try and do that if we can catch it. And so if you know you have more than one order, and it really helps if you say, hey, I've got another order that hasn't shipped yet, and we try to combine them and then we give refunds. So
For what Sally's saying, y'all, the comment box. If
Yeah.
you are shopping with Farmhouse Fabrics and you have 2 orders, or you want to make sure that something coordinates in your order, within your order, give us instructions and we read every comment that's placed in the comment box. So it's like an extension of your order. Definitely use it.
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So I was asking the girls here, since it's been Father's Day and everybody's like reminiscing and everything. I was thinking about things that
You can read it later.
oh, this is a drawing. It's
Yeah.
like, did she say something? Things that my father or somebody in your family might have said that you can remember, and maybe you find yourself repeating to your kids. And so I said, well, I can remember that my dad would always say, so I want you to be thinking, what did you remember when you were growing up? And you can tell us right in the comments. He said fish and visitors stink after 3 days. And and he used to hire kids to work in the summer on the farm, and he would say, if you hire one teenager, you have a worker. If you hire 2 teenagers, you have a half a worker. If you hire 3 teenagers, you have no worker at all. And so, Kristen, what did your dad say? They were big into sports. She and her brother. So he was.
So we had lots of tough love when it came to sports. So it was definitely hurt after the game was one of the biggest ones. But I'm sitting here thinking, and he encouraged me so much to do whatever it is I wanted to do always. So he always said that I could be anything that I wanted to be. And at the time, there wasn't even a running for a woman president. So he always told me, you could be the first woman president.
Aww.
And he also told me if I loved doing trash work, that I could be a trash man. So he definitely was a love me for who I was person. So
he still is.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
pretty
that
awesome.
was big. Yep.
Yep. And then who said this one? Nothing good happens after midnight. That was Michelle. Michelle's mom used to say, nothing good happens after midnight. Yeah. And what? Were you raised in a barn? Shut the door. Yeah. Oh, but the best one, I think, was this your daddy that always said this? It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. So
That's cool.
anyway,
I want to use that.
Yeah.
That's neat.
They're really fun. And I love to hear about things that you heard growing up, if they're appropriate.
If they're inappropriate, that might be fun too. Send us a private message for those. All right, so we have the winner for this week's giveaway
is Natalie Inman Home, and Natalie said she loves the giveaways. So that's from
Horn.
Oh, Horn.
Yeah,
It
I was like that doesn't not a home.
Okay, you know what? I do need to get my cataracts removed.
Y'all sign up for our twice a week giveaways. Yeah, we post a video every Monday and Thursday, and y'all can get your name in our bucket to see if you win.
Thanks for coming. And we're gonna smile.